You just landed an SDR interview at one of your target companies. Guess what? 15 other SDR job candidates landed interviews as well. Everyone says the same exact things in their interviews, but nobody except you will do this. And this is why I guarantee you're going to land that SDR job offer. This is the SDR sales plan template. You're going to send your SDR sales plan to whoever you're meeting with throughout every stage of the interview process, whether it is the first stage of the interview process and you're meeting with somebody in HR, or it is the second and third stage of the interview process, you're meeting with your hiring manager, your sales manager, or the VP of sales, a CRO at a smaller company. You're going to send this a few days prior to the conversation, and this plan is going to set the stage and set the tone for that conversation, because no other SDR candidates will do something like this. Now, you could use this exact template. You could gain access to that in the description of the video. It's completely free, so you can edit this template, or you could put this on a Word document, which is what I've done in the past. Don't focus on making your sales plan look pretty and cool looking. That does not matter. Just focus on the contents. So the first page after your title page of your SDR sales plan. So just to take a step back, your SDR sales plan should have the company's name, the company logo, your name, maybe the date of the interview. And then the second page of your SDR sales plan is going to be the table of contents to give the person reviewing your sales plan an idea or a roadmap of what is going to be covered in your sales plan. First and foremost, you need a mission statement and your values. So your mission statement is a few sentences that define you as a person or as a team member where you work at the company you're interviewing for, and identifies your purpose. So here's an example: to use my gifts of curiosity, creativity, and tenacity to consistently build pipeline while being a positive contributor to the culture of the sales team. Now, don't just copy and paste what I wrote for this example on your sales plan. If curiosity, creativity, and tenacity does not describe you and what you're looking to convey in your sales plan, use different words. The reason I use those three words, those are three words that all SDR managers are looking for, because those three words, curiosity, creativity, and tenacity, are three values that make up great SDRs who consistently book meetings. So your mission statement should be 1 to 3 sentences tops, again, that defines you as a person, as a member of the team you're going to work for, and identifies your purpose in that role. And then right below your mission statement should be your values. So pick 4 to 5 values that will be the foundation of your success in the role. These values you will live by 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, when working your role as an SDR. An example: consistency, hustle, creativity, accountability, discipline. There's not much to this slide here or this page in the sales plan, but this is so important because this gives the SDR manager, the VP of sales, the HR manager, an idea of who you are as a person outside of all the work you're going to do when cold calling, sending cold emails, building pipeline for the organization. Next, you're going to list out the goals and metrics you were measured against in this specific role. So some examples of goals that SDRs are measured against: qualified appointments, qualified meetings set is going to be number 1. Opportunities created that are passed over to an account executive where they run a discovery call and demo. Sourced ops that close. I would say, in my opinion, that's number 1. If you're sourcing opportunities that aren't closing, you're not calling on the right folks. That's going to be a big one. And then activity metrics. So a lot of companies will have activity metrics behind number of cold calls, number of cold emails sent, number of LinkedIn messages sent. You want to find out these goals from current SDRs. So when you do get an interview set up, go on LinkedIn and find current people that are working the job you want at that company. Ask them to meet for 15 minutes to understand what they're measured against. When you present this sales plan to the HR manager, to ideally your hiring manager, your SDR lead, they're going to be very impressed that you came into the conversation with already a good understanding of what you're measured against, what your quota is as an SDR. You don't have to ask those questions. You're already prepared. You know what you're measured against. You're going to find out those goals from current SDRs. And then list out, this is really important here, guys, list out any company or career goals, that should say goals, not roles, outside of the SDR role. So for example, I want to be promoted to an account executive within 18 months of my SDR role, or within 2-3 years, I want to be an enterprise account executive. This is already planting the seed that, hey, I want to kill it as an SDR so I can move up within the organization. And it's always important that the people you're working with, the people you're working for, know what your career aspirations are. So they know that, hey, Matt wants to be an account executive. It's my job to help him get there. Let's lay out a plan together of what he needs to hit and make sure it's very clear what he needs to hit on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis to get to that goal. So you always want to make sure everyone in the organization knows, especially the people you're working for, what your next move is, because they can help you get there. List out those goals. This will impress the hiring manager. Next, we're going to create a 90-day plan. Now, you want this plan to be as detailed as possible. So if this plan needs to be across 2 pages of a Word document, or 2 slides or 3 slides in a PowerPoint deck, that is fine. Day 1 to 30 is learning, aka the sponge mode. So you're going to complete any required company trainings. Find out what those company trainings are from an SDR and list them out in detail. For industry knowledge, you want to be as specific as possible. List out the personas you're going to be calling on. Who are those people? What do they care about? What are their problems? List out those problems. Make sure the hiring manager, whoever is reviewing this sales play, knows that, hey, this person, this SDR candidate, they already know what the ICP is for this role. They know who the ideal customer profile is. They know what the problems are. They know what the solutions to those problems are. Their messaging looks great here. It's very simple. A 5th grader can read it. Be as detailed as possible. In the first 30 days, you want to make sure the hiring manager knows that, hey, this person's smart enough to, on their own, set up conversations and meetings to shadow the top SDRs, figure out what they're doing on the phones, read their cold emails, tweak it a little bit for their style to replicate that. They're going to listen to gong recordings, whether it is recordings from account executives or recordings from SDRs. That's day 1 to 30. Day 30 to 60 is implementation. Action. Calls, emails, social selling. In these 30 days, your focus is failing. You want to get to failure as quickly as possible. Have as many conversations that get to know as possible. Send as many cold emails that do not get returned as possible, because with the failing is going to come improving in day 60 to 90. So you're going to figure out what wasn't working, what was working in those 30 days, and tweak it to day 60 to 90. Start to really rework your outbound process and messaging, because in day 60 to 90, guys, you probably should be booking meetings consistently and on pace to hit your quota. If day 30 to 60, you're just focused on action. I'm going to pick up the phone as much as possible. I'm going to send more cold emails than everyone as possible. I'm going to hit up more people on social media as possible, because with activity, with frequency, comes quality. But you have to get through the frequency first. So you're going to come up with your 90-day sales plan. Again, make it as detailed as possible. After that, you want to list out your target market. So you can list it out by territory, whether it is location or industry. So most SDRs are broken into different locations. Hey, Matt, you're focused on the California market. Or, hey, Matt, you're focused on calling on manufacturing companies. So you want to list out those territories in detail on your sales plan. Who are you calling on? What are their titles? Who are some target accounts that I can call on? What are some prospects I can call on? In this part of the sales plan, you're showing that, hey, I've already done some work here. I don't already have the job, and I already put a lot of thought into who I should be calling on, how I should be spending my time, what types of accounts I should be targeting, and I'm going to target these accounts because again, they fit my ICP, and these folks have problems that I could solve. So you're showing that, hey, I have a good understanding of what I'm up against, and here's what I'm going to do to be successful. Target market is key. Next, you want to list out your tools and resources. So you want to ask the current SDRs what the sales tech stack looks like. Do we have a data intelligence tool like a Zoom Info, an Uplead, and Apollo? Do we have access to LinkedIn Sales Navigator? What is our CRM? Do we have the ability to send video messages? You want to list out every sales tool that you could use that's at your disposal in this specific SDR role, and then write 2 to 3 bullet points or sentences of how you're going to utilize that tool in the role. This is going to show them that, hey, this person, even though they're probably relatively new to sales because they're going after an SDR role, they have a good understanding of what sales tech looks like and how they need to use it to be good at sales. For example, you want to list under a CRM that you're going to keep detailed records and tracking of all activity. If it didn't happen and it wasn't reported in Salesforce, it did not happen. So you want to show that, hey, I'm going to keep detailed records and all my activity in Salesforce to stay up to date on top of all these accounts. Tools and resources, very key. And then the meat of this sales plan is prospecting. So you're going to break this down for cold calling, cold emailing, and you could even do social selling as well. You're going to include a cold call script written for this specific job, for this specific role, the company that you're interviewing for. You want to break it down for the opener, your reason, a few questions you can ask to open that prospect up on a cold call, and the closing language you're going to use to hopefully book a meeting with prospects on your cold calls. This should be one page either in your PowerPoint deck or one page in your Word document. If you want an idea of what you should include on this page, guys, you can gain access to my cold call guide in the description of this video. Same thing for cold emails. You're going to include a cold email written for the job, break it down by the first line observation. So we're using the OPS framework. Second line, a challenge they might have tied to that observation. Third line, the solution. Fourth line, an interest-based call to action. I have tons of videos on how to better write cold emails. Check those out on the YouTube channel to come up with your cold email that is going to resonate not only with the prospect, more importantly with the SDR manager, to show that, hey, this person knows how to write a cold email, they have some copywriting skills. You can also include, this would get you bonus points, guys. You could also include a slide or a page in your sales plan dedicated to social selling, about how you're going to leverage LinkedIn primarily to send video messages and voice notes to get the attention and book meetings. And you could also, this would take it to the next level, you could also include a page that includes a sequence. So I'm going to send a cold email this day. The next step is a cold call. The next step is a handwritten note. Include a sequence that's 12 to 15 steps. That will really impress an SDR manager. And then lastly here, guys, a slide dedicated to professional development. Like the rest of the slides, you want this as detailed as possible. So don't just write role playing here. Write role playing and then write what your plan is to role play every day, whether it's role playing cold calls, role playing handing off a call to an account executive on a first meeting with a prospect. Make that as detailed as possible. List out any books you plan to read. Sales books, marketing books, business books, motivation books. List them out and when you're going to read them. Dates you're going to read them by. Courses and coaching you plan to invest in. So I did this in my current role now. My manager was very impressed with all the courses and coaching I invested in. I invested in $5,000 the past year into coaching. That impresses SDR managers because you show that you're taking onus and you're fully owning your development in your role. So professional development is going to be key as well here. There you have it, guys. That is the SDR sales plan. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is doing this. I promise you. If you do this, I guarantee you will land the job. Again, you're going to send this a few days prior to getting that conversation set up. You can gain access to this guide in the description of the video. It's free. Check that out. Tweak it for your style. What works for me might not work for you, but this is a good baseline to use. And then check out the video right here, guys, because this video is how to nail the SDR interview from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So you could land that role and get at least $80,000 your first year as an SDR. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you.